Alright, this is a short demo video on how to use AWS Educate, Amazon Web Service, hosting for multiple platforms for Dr. Bolt's Research 6000 course and writing papers. So I'm going to accomplish the following as directed. I'm going to log on, start an instance of AWS, and then log into that instance. My host platform here locally is a Windows computer, and the instance I'm going to launch is an Ubuntu instance. Then I'm going to run some script here in Python on my computer locally, and then do the same on that computer, and it'll tell what the platform is. Move that file between these computers, and then close the instance and demonstrate that I've downloaded it. I'm also going to put some extras in here for myself because I don't know when I'll use this again, but it's very useful. So the first thing I discovered is when logging into AWS Educate is that they require all of your actual personal information because they're probably data mining it, so you can't just leave it anonymous, and I got denied my application the first couple times I tried to do that. The other useful thing for myself to remember is that when joining AWS, the Educate login link is very different than just AWS, and so don't try to log into just AWS or it won't work. So let's get started. Log into AWS. The other thing useful is this website here walks me all through how to do everything I'm about to do, and it's what I use primarily to get it to work because I'm using a Windows host platform into a Linux instance. I had to use old school PuTTY. It's updated now, but anyways, WinSCP and a number of other files and references. Now that I'm logged into AWS Educate, I'll click on the AWS account. I'll actually go to my AWS account, which they've contracted this out to another provider, probably a subsidiary. Then I click AWS console, and actually launch the AWS console, EC2. Once I'm in there, I can launch an instance. I've taken some steps before this to create a key pair so that I can accomplish SSH through a public and private key, so I've already downloaded that key, and those steps are again in here. This isn't required, so I'm not going to list it now. So I'm going to go down to Ubuntu, because I've used that often, 64-bit x86 based processor. This is what's available. There's some cool FPGA instances and other things down here, but they aren't free. I'm going to review and launch. I'm going to hit launch. See, it's going to use the existing key pair I already created. Choose, see, that's why it's on this versus create a new one. Launch. Now, as that gets started, I'm going to go ahead and load and run the code on my computer. So I created some Python code because it's pretty cross-platform compatible and it's very transparent coding. There's tons of support right now anyways. Okay, so the file is just test.py, so it's right here. What it looks like is this. I had this in the shebang, but I got rid of it, so it's cross-platform compatible. So this is commented out. Anyways, imported datetime and platform support functions. Capture the datetime when it opens. I screen print so I know it's running, and then I create an output file. I write to it with the information I've gathered, I close it. So we'll run that on the computer. I'm doing all this while I'm waiting for that instance to launch. So Python test.py, it runs, hello world, here we go, Windows 8.1, 6.3, old service pack. Anyways, and then finally, I look at the output sample, guess what, same date time, right 1 second ago. And then the windows, the lines, 10 lines, and then my references that help me put all this code together that you saw earlier. Now, I'm going to go to the workbench and see if my instance actually started. The EC2 management console, sorry. which it says it's now launched, but let's see. So I'm going to go to view instances. So these were old instances. It says it's still initializing. So I'll take care of the other information we need, like gathering the domain and login. The login is located here, which for Ubuntu, it's Ubuntu. So I'm going to grab my domain. I'm going to launch PuTTY. I did other steps already to set up these sessions. I'm going to put the domain in, and all those steps are on that website I've been referencing. You can see it's got the domain, it's got my login, and it's already got some keys loaded in here, which again, it's the key pack I loaded. So let's see if the instance is finished initializing. We'll try launching it. Looks like it's not launched yet. Oh, it is. I enter a passphrase I created, so it's actually launched, even though it says initializing here. This is my instance, okay? So I think it says down here, it's out in Virginia, somewhere on the East Coast. I don't remember where Amazon Server Farm is. Now I'm going to go ahead and launch an SSH for file transferring back and forth, going SCP. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to go ahead and put my host name in here, and I need to load the keys. I'd saved a session, it's not here, I don't know why, but anyways. I'm going to grab authentication, I'm going to grab my private key. For some reason this goes to the wrong user. Not going to deal with that right now. There's my private key. Okay, it looks like everything's set up. It's authentication, username is Ubuntu, password, log in. Okay, so now it's got my computer as a file transfer protocol set up between this instance that's running in Amazon. It's this one right here at this domain with the username we talked about and lots of other jazz. And some. Let's get to the point of it. Let's go ahead and move the file over to that location. So I'm going to grab the oh, I need to do one thing. I need to install Python on this. So install. Awesome. There we go. Okay. While that's installing, I'm going to move the file over. So it's updating my instance with, that was fast. So now I've got Python 2 because my script is written in 2. Alright, now I'm going to grab that instance or that file from my computer. Oh, come on. Which is here. Grabbing that, bringing it over. Yes. Okay, so it's moved it over. Now I can check if it's there. It's there. I guess I could have checked beforehand to prove, but this instance I just created. Anyways, now I'm going to run it on this. Okay, once again, hello world. Here we go. Linux. Alright, 4.15.0, so clearly a different setup. Now I'm going to go back here, and I ought to see, if I refresh this, I ought to see an additional file here, the output file. isn't that showing up? Why is this file there? It's there. I don't know why it's not showing up in the... I'm going to close this and log back in. I don't know why it's not showing up. I know it's there. You can see the instance. It's right there. There's my output sample. It's not here. I'll search for it. Nice. Awesome. 7 hidden. Nice. Alright, so I'm going to sign out and sign back in. So I've got to grab my domain name again. Launch another instance of WinSCP. Hopefully this serves as validation that what I'm doing is legitimate. Right. 1, 2. Next. Now I already remember how to do all this. I've done it 3 times at least. Let's see. There it is. Alright. I don't know why that wasn't refreshing. I clicked, I guess maybe this is the refresh. I need to click here. Anyways, now I'm going to bring this back over to my desktop and open it and log out to prove that I can do this. So let's put it in test. Let's put it in primary user downloads. So output sample.txt, I'm bringing it over, alright, I brought over, I'm going to go to it. So this is where, again, I've had the output sample from Windows, right, in test. I'm going to go to this PC, C, users, primary user, downloads. Now here it is. So clearly this was generated at a later time. Yeah, check out the timestamp from what maybe they're in universal time anyways, and then Linux-based Ubuntu version 18.04. So let's make sure I accomplished everything required for the post. So I'm about to post it. I started up my AWS instance, logged on, ran some custom code, downloaded the output to my desktop, showed that it's there. I'm going to terminate my instance. I've narrated it, and I've made plenty of mistakes. So let me log out. I'm going to close my PuTTY, my WinSCP, and all my additional instances. I'm going to go to here. This is the instance I'm interested in. Oops. I'm going to take actions, instance state, stop, yes, stop. So it's stopping it. I'm going to consider it successful. I've done this a couple times. You can see it's stopped. And I'm going to go ahead and log out. And I'm going to stop this drawn out video.